Your TikTok page.
Ask Lawyer Bracco Powers.
Okay, Ask Lawyer Bracco Powers, where he tends to talk all things law, especially case law, the things you need to know for public education, and then those who tend to perhaps pursue the subjects in a future hope of being professionals, so to speak. So you can get some public education, but also some professional education in there as well. And then we have a man who is constantly watching and sending us feedback. I knew him to be a member of the MPP early on in my career, but he's since transitioned to be with Alan Chamantin's Movement for Change. Ebo Bachman is a marketing communication as well as a marketing expert. It's all right. Good morning to you, Ebo Bachman.
Yeah, good morning. But let me make this correction. My background is finance and economics instead of marketing.
Finance and economic expert. Ebo Bachman, thank you very much. And then the Member of Parliament for Sisalam West, who I know will know Dr. Zato very well. And Mohammed Superu is a Member of Parliament. He's also a Deputy Ranking on the Judiciary Committee of Parliament. Good morning. Is it Judiciary Committee?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you once again.
Thank you very much.
All right. So we'll have some great conversations. And our referee for the day is lawyer Kwame Jantwa, Convention People's Party. Good morning to you. He's also chair of the Ghana Energy Awards. He's also an energy expert. And good morning to you as well.
AGI.
AGI. Yes, also AGI as well. Plays a role in the GMPC board, newly inaugurated as well. So please make sure you join us. But in all, please share the stream. Let's have some great conversations. And before we start playing the inserts, please, cash out goes with the short code *439#. Because today is very important for us, we have to keep hammering on it. So while you're talking about your own reactions towards the Agrada sentence and then also the reaction of MPP's leadership to the decision of the EC, please let's know what you think about our discussion this morning. I see Yamole Yamu. Great hearing your voice yesterday. And to all, everybody who tend to watch us, Yao Febri, Manini Mani. I also have everybody else, Wood Eduji and the rest of Nana Yao York, Prince Nana Yao York. All of them, please share the stream. Let's have some great conversation this morning. But these are the reactions. General Secretary, Minority Leader.
It is unjust. Is it the case, and I don't want to believe that that is the case, that the recent public comment by some senior politicians is what is compelling EC, perhaps to secure their job? They want to succumb to the whims and caprices of certain extremists or certain hardliners. It is not fair.
Under the law, it is only a court of competent jurisdiction that can order a rerun of election duly conducted by the Electoral Commission. So the Electoral Commission has no power, no authority to determine a rerun for Ablikuma North, except by the court. Except by the court. In any case, we have evidence that some of these presiding officers were in fact at the collation center, and where they verified the results from their polling stations. We are a nation of rule of law. We owe it to our dear country Ghana and prosperity to rise above our parochial or partisan considerations in order to defend our democratic gains. We in the MPP shall stop at nothing in our quest to ensure that the powers that must be respected and upheld by the democratic right and sovereignty of the good people of Ablikuma North, as expressed by them on 7th of December 2024, is upheld. And therefore, we have caused our legal directorate to challenge the Electoral Commission in court. And today we shall file in court to challenge the arbitrary, the capricious, the whimsical directive by the Electoral Commission in court. And it is our prayer that in spite of the intimidation and victimization of our judges, we will get a good judge who will be firm and speak for the truth. When the truth speaks, certainly we will be vindicated, and our candidate will be declared the winner of Ablikuma North.
Well, so make sure that you also join us on the stream as well. But let me first ask you, Bracco Powers, what do you make of the reaction to this?
I think it's germane. NPP has a solid foundation, because we believe some months away that we were just 3 polling stations away from knowing the elected member of parliament for Ablikuma North. Just within some few weeks, we are told that now the EC is beating a U-turn. I mean, it should get you curious.
When you say we, you and who?
So Ghanaians. Because the thing is that, you know, every Ghanaian is interested in who becomes a member of parliament, particularly at Ablikuma North. Not only Ablikuma North, but all the other constituencies. So if Ablikuma North is outstanding, clearly you must be curious in knowing what may be the problem. So I'm wondering, because you see, the EC, using the scanned copies of the pink sheet, was able to collate at least a number of the police stations. Out of 33 police stations, they were able to collate, I mean, almost close to 30 police stations, with only 3 police stations outstanding. And this was by consensus. The 2 political parties and the other allied parties agreed, and the EC went ahead. And don't forget that, you know, on December 20th, 2024, the High Court made an order that the EC should continue with the coalition, not only at Ablikuma North, but also in Samuel Dojiri. But they went ahead to do the one for Samuel Dojiri. Then what happens to Ablikuma North? Is there a power play? I think there's, I mean, there are more questions to be answered than what we are getting from the EC. And I had opportunity to go through the Public Elections Regulations 2020 CI 127, and it has no clear provision on how to conduct a rerun. But the only provision had to do with Regulation 42, which talks about the fact that the parliamentary election could only be rerun where 2 candidates, where there is a tie between 2 candidates. Apart from this, or save this provision, clearly I didn't see anything. So if you want to go beyond that, that means that there must be a consensus. But to have collected 30 police stations out of 33, I think the EC should not, and under no circumstance, say that they want to rerun the election in 19 police stations. I think it has no basis. Personally, I think it has no basis, because the EC must take decisions based on a legal foundation. But with this decision, this directive, so-called directive, it has no basis. And then the MPP has genuine concern, and what I feel they should do is just to invoke the jurisdiction of the High Court. Yes, the jurisdiction of the High Court to, determine whether the EC is being arbitrary, as they claim. But for me, I feel sitting behind the scene and looking at what is going on, I think there could be some power play. What may be responsible? Is it because of a change in government? Because some few months away, when the MPP was in power, the EC was eager to finish with the coalition process. Then what changed? Now that there's a new government, are they being remote controlled? Because we know the Electoral Commission is supposed to be an independent institution. But you and I know that when it comes to constitutional bodies, because of some other intermediary controls, including financial regulations and other things, usually they tend to, pander towards the whims and caprices of largely those in government. But by and large, I think the New Patriotic Party has a major concern. And I side with them. And their only remedy lies in invoking the jurisdiction of the High Court. 2, either to seek judicial review Because if there's a directive, clearly, because the Electoral Commission is saying that they arrive at this conclusion or this decision based on a meeting with these two political parties. But per the tone of their press release, you would think that the two political parties had consensus. But from what we are getting from the NPP, there wasn't a consensus.
Okay, so your position is that the Electoral Commission is communicating to the public and indeed the generality of the Ghanaian citizenship that there had been some level of a buy-in from both sides. But perhaps the responses of the NPP then tells that that buy-in is not there.
It's clear.
Okay, but if the Electoral Commission, based on the act that establishes it, is determined to be the independent body that organizes elections and says this is the position so far for a frustrated process, irrespective of not having a clear indication by way of whether it's a CI 127 or CI 91, etc., guiding this election, has all the powers to be able to reconvene this, right?
No, but the thing is that, like I said earlier, the High Court has made an order.
Yes.
That continue with the coalition. If you have issues with an order, what do? Because you see, when the court makes an order and you have issues with it, your right doesn't lie in determining what you do about the order. If there's an order from the High Court and you have issues with it, or you disagree with it, or you're unable to implement it, what do? You must go back. You get it. But a court has made an order. A court of competent jurisdiction has made an order. And you believe or you feel because of A, B, C, D, we are unable to go ahead with the coalition exercise. Does it lie in your hands to decide what to do when there's a clear directive or order for you to continue with the coalition? I don't see it. You get it. And the EC cannot hide behind their powers as captured in Article 42 to clearly say that they have because they are independent, so clearly they can do whatever they like. That's not the case. Being independent doesn't mean you can do whatever you like, because we are all operating within the constitutional framework. And don't forget that any institution that tries to elevate itself above the constitution by the fact that they are trying to elevate themselves, they have to be brought down just because of the constitutional provisions, or because we have subscribe to the fact that the Constitution is supreme and over and above any other institution and individual in the country. So, personally, I think the EC is being unfair. And the EC is not being principled. And the EC is trying to take a path which is not good, because there's a clear directive order from the courts. If you have issues with it, you just go back. But you can't say, because of ABC, I'm unable to implement or carry out the orders of the court. And on what basis are you trying to, derogate or, fail to implement or comply with the orders of the court? On what basis? The EC has not given us. The EC is saying that because some presiding officers were unable to verify 18 of the pink sheets. I mean, that is not...
Did you follow the proceedings in the counting process of this frustrated process for this particular constituency and others as well? Indeed, and as your election comments center, we followed it through, and all of us right here.
Yes.
You could see that even though there had to be corroboration or verification of some of these pink sheets with screenshots even on phone. You question the authenticity of the result. So if the Electoral Commission says, I want to reconvene or organize election in 19 polling stations, that should suffice. Bring peace for everybody.
On what basis? On what basis are you doing that?
Okay.
When the court has given you a clear order that go and collate. If you have issues, I think the best, like I always say,
you should resort.
When you have a problem with an order of the court, you don't decide what to do as an individual. If you know you cannot comply with the order, or even if there's an order of the court which you consider to be a bad order, you have to go back. You can't say because the order is bad, so I will not respect it or obey it. You can't do that. And there are clear judicial authorities on this issue.
Mr. Peru, so we're here, Honorable, because there seemed to be a certain concern that has been raised by the Electoral Commission. But the question is, the MPP said this is not grounded in law, and that there seemed to be a lack of trust for them on the part of the EC.
So for Mr. Roland, let me use this opportunity to say good morning to my co-panels here this morning.
Good morning.
This particular issue, I am surprised that MPP as a political party today is complaining about matters like this. I have in the past thought that EC, as we are all aware, has a mandate which is to supervise elections in this country. And the mandate is being given to them as a body by the Constitution of Ghana, the 1992 Constitution. And so whatever currently the Electoral Commission is doing, they are acting within their mandate. There was an election conducted by the Electoral Commission. In that elections, there were issues about collating the results. We all saw it. It is not something that was hidden. The last collation that they tried doing, it was covered live by your own, this very station here, and other TV stations, radio stations across this country. And we saw what happened when some pink sheets were not signed by the presiding officer. And the presiding officer, I'm not a law, but per our elections, I've contested elections in this country. I participated in 2020 elections. I participated in 2024 elections. And I have always been monitoring and be part of elections in this country. The presiding officer acts on behalf of the EC at every polling station. That is the person in charge of the results. And so after counting, if all results are collected at the polling station, after the count, the person that certifies the results there are three people. The agent for those, when I say three people, be it if there are even several political parties that participated in that election, their representatives, that is the agent. And then the person that represents Electoral Commission at the polling station, it is the presiding officer. In this case, these particular polling stations that are in contention, the pink sheets are not signed by the presiding officer. So how is EC going ahead to declare such a result when not one polling station, when not two polling stations? We are talking about 19 polling stations are in contention. The best for the two parties involved in this is to rerun. And so I am surprised that New Patriotic Party that participated in the elections with same candidate, NDC participated in the elections with same candidate. EC is saying that we are going to rerun these 19 polling stations just because we are unable to ascertain or otherwise the results that are in contention. The person or the persons who represented EC at those 19 polling stations cannot authenticate or otherwise those particular those particular results at those polling stations. And so this is simple. I don't think that EC, as they have the mandate to run elections, need to go to court to seek for another mandate or for court to say that go back and conduct elections on those particular polling stations. Don't forget, the contention is not about a declaration. It is not something that there have been a declaration that this party A is the winner, and somebody says that I won't agree to the declaration. Therefore, the person decides to go to court. This is not what we're talking about.
But is it not important where there are two contesting parties at the table, one disagrees, then accuses the EC of lack of trust and bad faith? At the end of the day, should be listened to.
Who is accusing the EC of lack of trust? Roland, the
MPP.
No, let's be serious in this country.
It's not what the press conference is on.
When I say we in this country, we are a serious country. Ghanaians are a serious people in this country. We were in this country for the past 80 years. When matters about registrations were raised, those matters had to do with rights of persons who qualify to vote. When other political parties, including NDC, then had issues, right, about the way and manner registrations were conducted in this country, and that some group of people would be cut off by participating, given them the opportunity to participate, they were going to be cut off. We were told to keep quiet and allow the EC to do its work. Today, where is that mandate that they were talking about, that the EC at the time had the mandate and, granted by the constitution of this country, and therefore, at the time NDC and other political parties were complaining, I remember, and I have granted interview on some other, sister stations, when we were about to do limited registration, and they said that every district or constituency, persons who were eligible to vote must travel from wherever locations they are to the district capital to vote. And I have a constituency that when you have to come to the district capital, you would have to travel like almost 2 hours to get there. We raise matters like this.
You mean to register? Or
to register. I'm just talking. I'm just citing an example. We were told to keep quiet because EC, it is only the EC that has the right to decide matters concerning elections.
So you are saying based on those principles?
It is not based on those principles. They should stop being hypocritical in this. If yesterday EC had the mandate, the only body in Ghana was EC to conduct elections, and for that matter, matters around election, it was only EC that could determine how elections should be run. Today, they should allow EC to do its work. What they seek to do here, we are talking about for the past 6 months, Ablikuma North, they've been there without a member of parliament. What is their crime? Only 19 polling stations, right, are in contention. Therefore, EC couldn't go ahead to declare those results. It is not that the 19 polling stations, there were no votes. If by the end of the day, the 7th December elections, all those polling stations, all the political parties, recorded 0, EC would have gone ahead to declare the election, the results. In this case, people came out to vote. It means that people decided who they wanted to represent them, but their votes could not be counted simply because there was a disagreement, even to the extent that the person who was in charge of, or those people who were in charge of the polling stations, that is the presiding members, could not authenticate or otherwise the results. And now you are telling me that EC, they don't have the right to go ahead to rerun. I don't know. So if they don't have the right to go ahead to rerun, what are they suggesting? What is the alternative?
You have to resort to the courts.
But they are going to court. They should go to court. They always say that if you have any issue, they should go to court. So for me, I don't have a problem with them going to court. They can go to court, but for the election, they cannot stop the election. We are going to conduct the election. The elections are run at the polling station. We are ready to meet them at the polling stations.
The 19
Why are they running
stations?
away? The 19 polling station. Your candidate, NDC is not changing a candidate, right? Same campaign message. We are going to go with same campaign message, which is we told the people of this country in 24 December that during the campaign that we're going to reset this country, and I believe that we are going to go to Ablikuma North, the 19 polling station, with same message. So I don't know why they are running away. It's just that, let me tell you what they are trying to do. They don't want to participate, and therefore they must find a reason for their withdrawal. Aside that, nothing. They don't have lost the election.
How do you draw those conclusions?
They
are adducing reasons not to participate.
They are just trying to create reason to, appease their base that the elections, in fact, even those elections, they actually lost Ablikuma North, and they know when they go back, the humiliation will be more than what would have happened in December. Therefore, for them to abstain from the election, they should find a reason, and the reason is that they are going to court. So we wish them where they can continue.
Ebo, do you think this is a good turning point? Because the MPP clearly is a major political party, just got out of government, and so has to be listened to. Where do they have to meet each other halfway?
Papa,
The EC and the MPP.
I think we've come too far to be experiencing this kind of situations in our elections. We've come too far. Not long ago, a whole constituency was not represented in Parliament. I'm talking about SAL situation. And one would have thought that, I mean, if you had had this kind of situation in the past, you would do things differently to ensure that we don't have repetition of the whole constituency not being represented. I mean, it looks as if we are good at making simple things complex. And then out of that, make sometimes unreasonable arguments to back our cases. Because the issue is very simple. We have 3 people who are supposed to be signing a document for the document to be valid. So if 19 of the pink sheets don't have 3 signatures, it means that those particular are not valid. Are not valid. It's as simple as that. And for me, what is even important is not what NDC is doing or what MPP is doing. It is the fact that the people of Ablikuma North are not being represented. That is the most important thing. They would have to have a voice in Parliament. And so if simple things that can be done for us to move forward, the political parties, especially the MPP, you see, one thing about MPP is that they are current executives. They've lost touch with the party. And they know they are going to, if they are going to have an election, they are going to lose. So they are capitalizing on some of these things to relaunch.
Do you think that's the case? I mean, they said clearly they had been sitting at the table. There was a meeting where they had their director of elections present. And so the position in the public gallery, that has been announced by the Electoral Commission, seemed to be a departure from what they thought was the consensus or the agreements. That's what they claim.
Yeah, but the point is that, as I made at the point earlier, if a document can only be valid if you have 3 signatures on the document, and the documents don't have the signatures, certainly they are not valid. They can't be used to determine the results of an election. This is not a complex issue. It should be very simple for all of us. Because the ones that have been accepted are the ones having 3 signatures. So I believe that moving forward, maybe we have to have a real look at our electoral laws and processes to be able to eliminate some of these things, so that in future we won't have a situation where political parties would want to capitalize on some of these things to just, to remain relevant. Because, Papa Ro, in my view, I think the Electoral Commission itself has not conducted itself very well in this process.
You think that its competence or incompetence is at the heart of this very issue?
Yes, and this issue of not accepting 19 pink sheets should have been they should have been resolved long time ago, because this is very simple. I mean, this is not rocket science. All the pink sheets that were accepted across the country had 3 signatures. Yes. For me, this is a no-brainer. It shouldn't even be an argument that a political party would want to capitalize on this. Let's have either, you see, in my opinion, either we have the 19 or we'll run the whole show again. I mean, for me, that is my opinion. That if having the 19 is going to create confusion, then why don't you rerun the whole process again? So that the North people will also have a representative in Parliament. For me, that is what is important. But as for the politicking and people wanting to take advantage of it to relaunch their campaign and all that, it's up to their party based whether. Well, that's
an opinion you hold.
Yeah, yes, it's an opinion.
And all of you witnessed the election in terms of its coverage and then the proceedings that were carried live on television and then also across the streams. And for you particularly, Lawyer Jantua, you would find that the concerns that have been raised about the conduct of the Electoral Commission and its assigns in some of these disputed areas. And you'll find that these actions have again been replicated here. And so...
Give me an example.
Okay. So we had, is it Ayawaso Central, where we were covering the election. Ballot boxes were were suspiciously said to have been brought in a car other than the ones that had been in the box. And so citizens' alerts then drew attention of the media to cover, including election commentators, some of those live, to which at a point in time, the suspicion was that there could be imports of external ballot boxes or pink sheets onto other boxes as well. So do you think the competence or not of the Electoral Commission and its assigns has given us this situation of crisis?
This is a complex question. Good morning to my fellow panelists and good morning to Ghanaians.
Good morning. Okay.
Number one, why is it that when we have elections, we cannot have clear, fair elections? Why? That you have people bringing ballot boxes stuffed, people doing all sorts of things. Why? Why can we not have a competition that is transparent and accountable? That political parties have to do wuru-wuru to win. Why? And these things are termed irregularities. So let me ask the question. Were there irregularities with these 19 polling stations? Were there? And if there were irregularities, isn't it the mandate of the Electoral Commission to do something about it? And when you go to the Constitution, when you go to Article 45F, it states the Electoral Commission, the Electoral Commission can perform, the Electoral Commission shall have the following functions. F, to perform such other functions as may be prescribed by law. By law, what is their function? Is their function to drink tea?
Maybe to drink.
Is their function to eat wache? Is their function to hold court sessions? What is their main function? To hold elections. Then let me go to 46. And my 46 is a question. Except as provided in this Constitution or in any other law not inconsistent with this Constitution, in the performance of its functions, the Electoral Commission shall not be subjected to the direction or control of any person or authority. Does this include the courts?
Of course.
Does it include the courts in terms of be subject to the direction or control of any person or authority? So if certain verdicts have been passed with regards to these elections, does this stop them from acting on what the courts decided? Because we say they are an independent body, don't we? And so far as I'm concerned, I don't know whether I should say this. The MPP owe responsibility to the people of Ghana. If the MPP want to do what? Want to have parliamentarians in parliament representing constituents, they should be very mindful of how they act between now and 2028. I believe, and I keep saying, when you look at the devastation in terms of the 2024 elections on the MPP party, and I know they would chastise me, stop talking about us, talk about CPP. But I have interest in any political party because they come to rule us. Between now and 2028, what the MPP should do is build confidence in the people. That should be their main target. And the people are sick and tired of MPP boycotting this and boycotting that and boycott. Have they not boycotted this platform? If today they were sitting on this platform, will we not get a clear view of what they thought? And boycotting this, boycotting that, Ghanaians who support the MPP, will support the MPP because they see what their leaders are doing and they are doing right. If you talk to a lot of MPP people today, they are not happy with boycott here, boycott there, boycott here, boycott there, because it doesn't give them the chance to indicate to people their thinking. Yes, it is their right to go to court. It is everybody's right to go to court to test. But the Electoral Commission has a mandate enshrined in the Constitution to run elections. What they've got to do, and what any political party has, including my own, is to take the opportunity to start campaigning very, very strongly. Look, they claim that they won most of these seats, right? Huh? Roland, is that it? And that is why they feel there shouldn't be a rerun. So, what would happen if the way you say you won these seats, you go by that trajectory and even make it better? Can you not win those seats again? Can you not? What would have changed? What would have changed? Because you should use this as a test case going forward. Use it as a test case to test your popularity. To see, oh, okay, the election 2024 didn't go well. However, this is an opportunity. Let's use it to test the people. And through that, you would also be able to now strengthen those areas you see potholes and move forward. Well, I am even telling my party, let's also go and stand there. Let's find somebody to go and stand there to test our own.
Unfortunately, they won't open
the nominations again. The period has expired.
Yeah. Even better. Even better for those who stood. Go back into the constituency and do what? Strengthen what you used to campaign. Yes, definitely. NDC will do the same. MPP will do the same. May the best person win. But probably the scare is that they see President Mahama doing everything he said he will do. And really, they themselves cannot question what President Mahama has done so far. So they feel it might tilt the balance. But you have a party. I have said, where MPP is concerned, today, in terms of their flag bearership race, they should all drop their interest and follow one candidate.
What has that got to do with a by-election for which an announcement has been made by the organizing body that there has to be a rerun?
Isn't the political parties who are going to run? If they see that the MPP has decided we will follow one person, because definitely the way the MPP's elections are going to go very soon, there will be bickering, there will be castigation, there will be spoiling of others, which at this particular moment they don't need that. Look at what happened the last time round. So it helps them if they decide, look, all those people who are going to stand for the presidential, lock them up in a room and let them all decide. See who has the strength and say where we are today, when we look even at our numbers in parliament, when we look at our popularity out there, it will be best if we see unity within us to present to the people. And let them go to court. If they go to court and they lose, do you know the impact it would have on them? They can go to court. But I would have said, okay, you don't agree with what the EC is doing. You have made it clear to people that you don't agree. Go back down there and walk the streets and make sure you win all the 19 polling stations. Do you know what it would do to the MPP if they won the 19 polling stations? Do you know the impact on the NDC if they lost the 19 polling stations? Look, elections, it's a fine line, oh. It's a fine line. Something little can tip. Yeah. The moment it tips, it goes in one direction. The moment it tips on the other side, it goes in another direction. And to get that back can be challenging. So Yes, you've had a press conference. Yes, you are going to go to court, but go down to the ground and walk the streets and make sure you win the 19 seats.
So, Larry Bracco Power, so as you try to perhaps also make some responses to what has been uttered here so far, so going to court remains the best option for the MPP?
I think that's the best, because the EC has made a decision, and the EC's decision, like any other independent institution, is not immune to
contestation.
Exactly. Or it's not sacrosanct to the extent that you have no authority to question it. So I think they need to do that. Don't forget that Papa Kusindun did a similar thing in a different context when he was disqualified. Remember, you get it. So, and here's the gist, Roland. The EC is saying that the presiding officers in the 19 polling stations did not verify the pink sheets. You should be asking yourself. Usually, there are two layers of signatures. So we have that of the polling agents, and we have that of the presiding officers. Don't forget, in Nana Akufo-Addo versus Mahama's case, the pink sheets was one of the major issues for the court to determine. And the court came to a conclusion that if we have the signatures of the polling agents minus those of the presiding officers, it does not invalidate the results. It doesn't go to the root of the results. It doesn't affect the results. So the EC's claim that the pink sheet from the 19 polling stations do not have or were not verified. Perhaps maybe do not have the signatures of the presiding officers. It's not a sound argument to make. The basis of which you want to rerun the 19 police stations, it does not.
There are instances also of the EC also determining that the EC's own officers, based on the screenshots of the pink sheets that they have different results. The NDC also have different results.
Yes.
And then also the MPP have different results.
Yes.
All screenshots, not authenticated paper.
So, Roland, let's drill down.
So why not rerun?
Why do you rerun? Is it the case, the scenario you are creating, is it the case for all the 19 police stations? I doubt it. You get it? Because the thing is that, I have said earlier that the EC had major issues with 3 polling stations. 3 polling stations. So if anything at all, go and rerun the election in the 3 polling stations. Why the 19 when you had already collated the results for the other polling stations amounting to 30 polling stations? It does not. I think the EC should just be careful. Being independent does not mean that a court of competent jurisdiction cannot make an order for you to comply with your own or even go by your own or perform your own functions. I don't think it amounts to intermeddling or preventing the Electoral Commission to flow or to work. It does not. When a court makes an order, that is why we have a court. When you look at Article 125, it is clear that neither the President nor Parliament has a final judicial say. So it means that whatever the court says is final.
So explain 46.
No, so why? If independent means you should...
No, explain 46. Read it and explain it.
No, is it just... Nana, relax. No, don't set the questions for me. Don't set the questions for me.
No, I want to understand you. 46.
Is that except as provided in this constitution or in any other law, not inconsistent with this constitution, in the performance of its functions, the Electoral Commission shall not be subject to the direction or control of any person or authority. Are you saying that
shall not?
Shall.
No, relax.
Mandatory.
No, so are you saying that per this provision, per Article 46, a court which has a final judicial say cannot...
Specific.
No.
Specific.
I disagree with your interpretation.
Okay.
I disagree.
Specific.
Please make your point, Larry Bracco Powers.
Yes. So clearly,
you're entitled to,
clearly, the provision of Article 46, which for him, for Nana, he believes protects or insulates the Electoral Commission from directives or orders from the court. I do not agree. I do not subscribe to that. I subscribe to what the Article 125 is saying, that neither the President nor the Parliament, has a final judicial say. So in any case, when there's a clear order from the court and you have an issue with that, I think the best solution, the remedy of the EC has the best solution for the EC to go back and to say that we are unable to do that. But to say that I'm rerunning 19 polling stations because of ABC, when earlier you had collected almost 30, you were left with just 3 to finalize. I think it is one of the unprincipled decisions the Electoral Commission currently. And I feel I'm tempted to believe that they are kowtowing to political pressure. Because if not for that, like what Nana is saying, if you want to be singing the praise of, if you want to be hiding under the principle that the Electoral Commission is independent, so on the basis of which the Electoral Commission can decide to change its mind.
So you think that based on your own interpretation or perhaps your level of understanding of the inconsistency of the Electoral Commission, perhaps they seem to being pressurized by the current government?
No, it's clear. It's happening.
Can same then be said that prior to January 7, the previous government was then giving it more pressure, and so its inability to be able to make a declaration?
Ruler is clear. Just
that they were receiving more pressure also by the Kufuor government?
No, just read the pattern. What was their behavior after post-2024 election? The EC was bent on collating, finalizing the collation process. Was that not the case? So what changed? Politics. You should know. You see, the thing is that...
No, I don't know. You are saying...
Yes, no, it's
insinuating.
No, I'm
That's
not.
an insinuation.
No, the thing is that we have the right to read meanings into the behaviors of institutions of the state. Clearly, because these are bodies that are supposed to serve us. And if you are to be independent, you must be principled. That's one of the attributes of an independent institution. You must be principled. Not kowtow to political influences or kowtow to public pressure or public opinion. The Electoral Commission, for me, by beating a U-turn, is clearly being unprincipled and is clearly communicating to Ghanaians that it's not trying to be as independent as the Constitution, impute upon it to be. It's not trying to be independent because the Constitution closed the Electoral Commission to be an independent institution. But per what is going, per the drama, the political drama and the cacophony, I think the Electoral Commission is not being principled.
You think it's being puppeted, controlled?
Just a minute.
No.
Just a minute.
No minutes. Please, have you ended?
No.
End for me and let me go to lunch.
The bottom line is this: the Electoral Commission cannot do whatever
it says
it feels. It feels when it's like sitting in your air conditioning room and deciding that today I feel like having this. That is that one you are entitled to that. But when you're a constitutional institution, constitutional body, you don't operate by whims and caprices, by just midnight thinking. You operate by the law.
Okay. Do you think, based on your understanding and then observation of the proceedings from the time the election was organized, for which you also participated and of course subsequently won, you would also blame the Electoral Commission for also not undertaking its mandate adequately? As a result of that's why we're where we are.
For me, this is the best decision ever, this Electoral Commission, ever since she and her deputies were appointed. This is the best decision ever they've taken in the interest of Ghanaians.
Why?
You know why? I am not a lawyer, but listening to my brother, I was just asking myself some few questions. How he was struggling to defend the current action of the New Patriotic Party. He cited the example of 2012 election petition, Nanado versus His Excellency the President.
That's 2013.
2013. And that he says that one of the judges, or he said the issues were about the pink sheet, and that
one of the issues,
and that there was a ruling,
pink sheet.
Yeah, that says that if the two agents signs on the pink sheet and then the presiding member signature is missing from the pink sheet, it means that it is valid. This is totally different from what is happening at Ablikuma North. I am surprised that you are comparing these two. It's like comparing apples to tomatoes. In the case of what is happening at Ablikuma North, every political party that participated in that election has their own result.
Yes, different result. I've stated that different.
No,
please.
In some of the instance cases.
In some cases, when you were talking, I was quiet.
Okay, that's fine.
In some cases, even if it is not all.
And they didn't have papers. Some of them had it on phone.
You would have MPP having their result.
On phone,
signed by their agent. NDC is having their result, signed by their agent. In all of these two different pink sheet.
And the EC also has different results.
EC also is having a different result. How do you resolve this matter? If it is not rerun, if you are not accepting mine, I am not also accepting yours. You are refusing to accept EC so. NDC is also refusing to accept EC so. So how do we resolve this matter if it is not rerun? Tell me what we should do.
But he's saying that at the point in time when this was almost concluded, the Electoral Commission was only thinking that
it is not
only
true.
three polling stations were in contention.
It is not true.
That's the position he holds.
It is not true. We know in the elections in Ghana here, if EC is even at the coalition room, when they collect the result to a certain point and they realize that candidate A is leading with a certain margin, even if you pick the remaining polling station, give that candidate A 0 and add all to candidate B who is losing, the person will still lose. They will come out and go ahead and declare the results. It happens even at the general elections. John Mahama's versus what's the name? Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. At the time some results had not come. The EC saw that no, there was no need for us to wait for these results. If you even give all these results to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, he will still lose. Then they went ahead to declare. In this case, this 19 polling station can determine the winner of these elections. Do you understand? So even if it is level 1 polling station, the competition at Ablikuma North, the two candidates, is so close to the extent that one polling station can determine even the winner of the elections. And therefore, every single polling station must be collated before you can go ahead to declare. So if you have issues on polling stations, that every candidate has his or her result. EC has its results. Each candidate is refusing to accept the EC's results. What do you do? You see, we know their problem.
Whose problem?
MPP.
What's their problem?
The problem is that during the elections, what was the exchange rate? The problem is that during the election, what was the inflation rate in Ghana? Today, what is the inflation rate? The problem is that what is currently happening in Ghana, the businesses are stable. We have a stable currency, exchange rate. We have inflation that is continuing, coming down. And I'm sure before December, we are going to have a single digit.
Your position is that the positive public opinion and then the way the economy is running, which seem to be rubbing off positively on the government, could sway the election in these 19 polling stations for the NDC. That is why the MPP is refusing.
It is not good. They know. Even including you sitting here know very well that even the people that mistakenly voted for MPP in Ablikuma North, if they should run the election today, same people will go and vote for NDC. Many of the people that voted for MPP in December 2024 elections today, if elections are held between same candidates, you will see President Mahama and NDC votes going up. And therefore, they don't want to be humiliated. You know, they keep tackling themselves saying that they know they can win 2028 elections. They know very well that what is happening currently, when they go into these elections at Ablikuma North, it will not be good for them. Therefore, the best thing for them is to withdraw. And when you are withdrawing, you must find a reason. And the reason is that we are blaming the EC and we are going to court. We can only wish them. Nobody is stopping them from going to court. After court, anybody can go to court. But the reality is this. EC is the sole institutional body that has the mandate to conduct elections. And EC has spoken. And I'm saying that this is the first time, the best ever decision taken by this particular electoral commission is to rerun Ablikuma North election. And I support it.
Mr. Bachman, what's the middle ground?
For me, we don't have to belabor this issue, honestly. The interest of Ghanaians.
For you, it's a very simple matter.
It's a simple matter.
Logical matter.
For example, I would want to ask Powers whether he would take a check to the bank, a check that doesn't have the signature of the issuer. Certainly, he will not do that because signatures are very important. For me, if the EC at a point in time realized that, the EC's attention was drawn to the fact that some of these pink sheets don't have signatures, and for that matter, EC has decided that let's rerun the 19. Let's rerun the 19. At least NPP is preparing itself for 2028 election. This could be a test case for them. This could be a test case for them. Or if it's going to be a problem, let's rerun the whole thing from the scratch, so that, I mean, the people of Ablikuma North, I mean, for me, that is what is important. They will need to have a voice in parliament. It's not what the interest of these two political parties. Because when it comes to the issue of AC, when it comes to the issue of you having a representative in parliament, this is not about the political parties. It's about the people. Because then you are not representing only your party people. You are representing the whole constituency. So it's about the interest of the people. So I'm saying that if MPP really want this country to move forward, I mean, this is nothing. I mean, you have 88, you want 89, or you want what? You have 88, accept the 88 and let's move forward. If you know you're going to lose, don't go. If you go and you lose, I mean, we win or you lose in an election. And let's move on as a people.
Well, Jantwa, best advice.
Let's go, let the parties that, I'll say the MPP, go into the constituency, get, run some kind of referendum, get their constituents, yes or no, come and tell us that we've been to the 19 constituencies, we've run
Polling stations.
Polling stations, we've run a survey to see what the people think about it, and these are the signatures and this is what they've said. Because for me, the people run supreme in anything we do. But let me ask the question, what the Electoral Commission is doing, is it in their mandate? Do they have the right to do it, or they don't have the right to do it? If they have the right to do it, what political party should stop them? Which? It's in their mandate, isn't it? They're responsible for elections, isn't it? They decide how elections are run, isn't it? So if you're a political party and you don't understand that, then don't go and
But there are
run.
situations where their decisions have been contested in the courts.
There were irregularities. Were there not? Some of the pink sheets weren't signed. The same MPP will complain if those pink sheets were admitted and accepted by the Electoral Commissioner.
Okay.
If that is the case, as Bachman said, rerun the entire, what do you call it? Rerun it. Then everybody, those in parliament now, those out of parliament now, will have to go and do, what do you call it?
All right.
19 polling stations. It's become a problem.
All right.
I doubt it.
Next, we'll move to Agrada and the outcome of that case very soon. 15 years imprisonment with hard labor. Let me say good morning to Raphael Sebuntu as well as your wife, Portia. But for those who are giving us comments, let me read a couple of comments. This one is coming from Moses. Moses, regular critic and then feedback person for the show, says that, is the call for the removal of the top EC bosses justified then? Look at how they are behaving. Look, if a pink sheet refers to an official document of EC and used in the electoral process to record votes at polling station, where then is the EC's own, which should tally with the others that the parties have? At the polling stations, officials record the vote on the pink sheet and represent the final results of the election. The pink sheet is then signed by the presiding officer and the party agents present at the polling station. And copies of that pink sheet are given to the party agent, and one is posted on the wall of the polling station. Refer to the CI that governs the election. Again, pink sheet is a carbonized form. So where are the copies that are of the original? All right. So where is the one that was supposed to have been posted in the community?
Exactly.
This is sad.
Exactly.
We're talking about an incompetent body that has led everybody down astray, and this is where we are. We are all confused people, Moses says. Now, Maxwell Akpabli, he says, I agree now perfectly with the MPP General Secretary and what he said about the EC chair and the deputies in the last presser. What they said clearly also reaffirms what Esiedun Ketia, the chairman of the NDC, said about the EC, that all of them must be sacked because their incompetences, if not curtailed ASAP by dismissals, would plunge this country into chaos in future elections. Look at how they organize the elections and see what is happening. Very interesting times. Kwame Boateng says, I agree with the MPP General Secretary as well as the minority leader if the position held earlier of the Electoral Commission is different from what they thought it was at the meetings, and the public utterances of the Electoral Commission is at variance to same, then why do we blame the MPP? Heading to court is the right way to go. Kofi Kwarteng says, Ghana's electoral laws grant the Electoral Commission the power to oversee elections, investigate irregularities, and take necessary steps to ensure the credibility of the electoral process. It's even in the Constitution. Why are you all sitting there saying that the Electoral Commission, one way or the other, is wrong? Go and rerun the elections where the polling stations are in contention. It's a very simple order. Neodik Atukwe Accra says, also, the EC must go. Also, MPP, why are they crying today? Were they not the same people supporting the same current crop of EC officers and management? What has changed? And that's it for now. But look, let's look at the issue of the, is it prophetess? Pastoress?
Yes.
Okay.
Prophetess.
A.K. Agrada. What do you make of the outcome of proceedings so far, based on the charges?
Yeah, I think it's someone. I've heard a lot of people, say that they were surprised with the outcome of the proceeding. But I'm not taken aback. I think it's the normal flow of the proceeding, because if she was charged with 6 counts. The first count was for charlatanic advertisement, and the others for defrauding by false pretense. You get, and so looking at, and there were so far the prosecution had 6 complainants. Then later I read somewhere that the prosecution was then arranging to bring in roping other 50 complainants to broaden the base of the issue. Generally, I think the courts have spoken, and if when a court speaks, there are 2 outcomes: you either agree or disagree. And from where I sit, 15 years. I think going by the provision of Act 29, because second-degree felony, defrauding by false pretense is a second-degree felony, and going by because and Act 30. It's clear that Act 30 Section 296 provides that where an offense is said to be a second-degree felony and there's no punishment prescribed for that offense, then you should go for 10 years. But where punishment is prescribed, then you must go by the punishment prescribed. So when you look at the provision governing defrauding by false pretense, it provides that the minimum should be 10 years and the maximum 25 years. So the judge was right to go in between.
So the judge did well?
Yes, so the judge was right to go in between. But, Roland, I listened to the lawyer. He pled mitigation factors. There are certain things you must take into consideration when you are slapping punishment on, convicts. There are a lot of factors. The court takes into consideration a lot of factors, particularly even the particular offense. And they also look at the individual concerned, the manner the offense was committed, and other things. But I feel 15 years is on the high side.
Okay, so
yes. I think the judge should have gone for the minimum,
which is 10 years.
10 years.
What difference does it make?
No, it does, because it brings relief. The thing is that when you are going for 15 years, it appears so, huge in your eyes. But 10 years, I think, the judge should have been magnanimous. Yes, the judge should have been magnanimous. Going for 15 years, it was their own discretion, because the provision provides 10 to 25 years. So, like I said, she went for the middle, But I think just if you want it to be punitive, it must not necessarily have to be that high. If you want it to serve as a deterrent to others who are also advertising, it must not be that high. And I agree with the lawyer that he should appeal. Perhaps he may succeed in getting a lesser sentence. 10 years, I think 10 years is
so
better.
15 years, but her legal team still have the option to appeal?
Yes, they can appeal.
So it's not excessive?
No, for now...
10, 25?
Yes, no, but for now, Roland, the judge has slapped 15 years. jail term on her. And until they appeal for the appellate court to consider whether or not it is valid or maybe you may want to intervene. But in running up, where is the NMC? What role is the NMC playing? What role is the NCA playing? Because these are bodies that are supposed to regulate and sanitize the system. And already we see, a lot of these advertisements on running. So
we'll come back on the subject of her actions and the actions of same others like her on morals of society, values, etc. And it's been, for example, it was just a sarcastic post, though. I shouldn't have, because now I've been insulted over the last 12 hours. I mean, it was just a sarcastic.
So I'm guided by your insult.
Yeah. Just over the last, I said, just suggest that the president should intervene. But at the end of the day, this is a clear sentence that is tried or stated in law. So you give the minimum of 10, but you also have up to 25. Do you think that the public opinion that people have about Agrada itself hasn't helped her post the sentence as to the overwhelming reception of the final sentence of 15 years? Because it looks like if a survey should be conducted right now, many people seem to agree that 15 years is even small, that the judge was even charitable. Perhaps lawyer Austin Powers would be the only people in the minority, really.
So there's a disclaimer on your earlier yesterday
the post,
sarcastic post.
Yes.
so
sarcasm gone wrong.
Yeah. So with the issue of Agrada, he says that the lawyer acted within the
judge.
The judge acted
within the remit of the law.
The remit of the law. I mean, minimum 10 years, maximum 25 years. And she was a woman that she chose 15 years. I think she's fair. If she had taken the minimum, probably the conversation would have, or the narrative would have been different. That there's an option for 25 at least. Some people would have been saying that she could have even gone to 15 or 20. But she chose 15. At least she's even at the middle. And for me, it is the question is, was a case established against her? There was. People were there to testify as witnesses. And her lawyers fought, but in the end, they realized that what she did in the past was against the law. And so we all know the laws, the Constitution that is currently lying before us, that, we all must live within the law stated in the Constitution. And so if Constitution says don't do this, don't do it. And she herself, she's not helped matters for the past almost 4 years. You have issues like this at court. You know how she conducted herself. All the time she picked issues with people all the time. I don't know what she gains from those things. I don't know. It is sad though, but that you cannot say that because of the number of years she's going to serve, they shouldn't have passed such judgment. She's actually gone against the laws, and the punishment must be applied because nobody is above the law. And we are talking about trying to sanitize a society that we all live. And day in, day out, you see people boldly advertising on national television, Facebook, and what have you, about money doubling and all kinds of things. And I ask myself, if the person sitting there talking about doubling money, if it is that easy, then there's no need for the person calling people to come for him or her to double for the people. Just double the money for yourself and keep it. If it is that easy, all this to defraud their, victim, and which is so sad. Look, I know somebody who went to jail, served 6 years in prison, Sunyan prison. This is somebody from my village. He came to Kumasi. He was working with a gas filling station, and he was transferred to a different place to manage. The owner of the same filling station entrusted everything into his hands. The guy was managing, could I mean, all the fans were with him. He was lured by his friend for them to go and do this money doubling. He took the capital of the station there, and then, I mean, how do you explain to your employer? In the end, he was jailed. You know, and so for me, it's a good sentence though to deter others who are engaged in same act. They should know that there is a law that prohibits them from doing those things. They should know that when you are caught, yours can be 25 years. Because if persons who are engaged in these things didn't know in the past, now there is a sentence that they can always refer to her sentence, which is same, crime. And she's been given 15 years. And so tomorrow, if it is about somebody else, yours, the judge, any other judge can apply the maximum, which is 25 years. So it's sad though. Especially that I don't know if she has kids. Yeah. She has, and she's married. I don't know what the husband, the trauma, the psychological, but
the law is the law.
Then again, the law is the law.
I see.
And nobody is above the law. And the law is the law. And we have applied the law.
All right. What lessons should we be taking from it? Because there are a lot of these activities replicated on digital TV, social media, etc.
For me, what it brings to the fore is what is important for us to discuss. Roland, many people have fallen prey to religious manipulation exploitation by self-styled spiritual leaders. And unfortunately, many people have lost their businesses, have lost their lives as a result of some of these things. So it brings to the fore some critical issues that the state would have to address. Because if we allow people like that to operate within the society, where we have laws to deal with them, and as if the laws have gone to sleep, they will continue to be emboldened to do it. But if we begin to apply the law straightly to serve as a deterrent to others, I think it will go a long way to sanitize the system. And for me, what is important for all of us, especially the politicians, is that if Agrada has been given 15 years for what she did, then we are expecting the political criminals also to be given well-deserving sentences. That is what we are expecting the state to do. For Agrada, whether the sentence is okay or not, of course, the law was applied. The judge stood on the law in the adjudication of the case and came to the conclusion that this is what you deserve. They also have the right to appeal, which her lawyer has said they are going to do. They should also do it, and let's see what the law will say. But for me, we should take our laws seriously. I have said it, and even at the risk of sounding repetitive, I've said it. Every nation that has done well on the back of two main issues: leadership and law. With the kind of leadership that the president is providing now, I trying to construct or reconstruct some of the pillars that were deconstructed by the previous government. If you make sure that our laws also work the way they are supposed to work, I can tell you this country will go a long way to see some kind of development. We are expecting that. I am not happy with the fact that when it comes to politicians, their criminal cases travel 5 years, 6 years, and 7 years in court. I think we should have laws that would make it possible for some of these criminal trials to not go beyond 6 months. If within 1 year, one is prosecuted, if you found guilty, you are jailed, a politician or a businessman or whoever, it will be good for this country. But the situation where people are able to manipulate the legal process and legal system to the point that, let's hold on till my party comes to power. As for people who are not politicians like Agrada and Doko, they will have a quick one, but the politicians will always have, a situation where their cases will run 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, till their government comes to power and they are freed. Yeah. This is one thing that I think we should also be looking at moving forward as a nation.
All right. Best advice. How should this be a deterrent and then also lead to enforcement of the law?
I do not.
Because there are the Electronic Communications Act, the Electronic Communications Act, we have the Cybersecurity Act.
I do not understand my counsel's point of view questioning the sentence. That 15 years should be this or should be that. The law is in the bosom of the judge.
He shared an opinion.
And I'm not agreeing with his opinion. The law is in the bosom of the judge. And what does that mean? Judicial integrity. The judge with the evidence before them and the law that is applied has to give a fair and honest interpretation of it. So if the judge has given 15 years, I don't think it lies in anybody's mouth to question. I don't think so. Now, Roland, let me ask you, where did this offense happen?
First on social media, which was the elicitation, and then subsequently in the church.
Was it on TV?
It was on social media, on TV, telecast.
Have we passed the Broadcasting Act? We have passed it. We have passed the Broadcasting Act.
The new one? No, not yet.
We haven't passed it. Because the media has responsibility to the people.
That's true.
The media should be able to sanitize such things. The media should be able to read those who do these types of fraud. What are you the forefront of the state for if you cannot act? When you look on our TV, when you look, social media, I haven't even gone there to try and regulate social media. But TV, when you see some of the things that happen on TV, some of the churches that come on TV, some of those people who come on TV and are preaching, and the way they direct the preaching to a certain level, you ask yourself, why is this on TV? And young people are watching, youth are watching, and we take it, and then when situations like this happen, we cry foul. We cry foul. You say Agrada is what? A prophetess. Is she a prophetess?
First, she was
is she a prophetess?
Traditional priestess.
She was a traditional priestess. And then, like Juju Maker. Then she transitioned a week after to a woman of God.
Do we have laws? Do we have laws?
Yeah, she was on TV as a prophetess, charming money.
Look, I don't want to encourage. I don't want to encourage her. She's going into prison. She might even take that into prison.
No, you asked me the process flow.
Do we have laws that regulate these types of things? Why aren't those laws enforced? Why? Whose responsibility is it to enforce? You talked about the NCCA. Are they financed enough? Then whoever the institutions are they financed enough? And you see, young people get influenced by this. And young people feel what she is saying and what she is doing, the end result is what? Kudi and money. And that is all. So the young people tend to direct their efforts there. Is that the kind of society we want? The responsibility lies on the judiciary, as the judge has done, lies on the media, but most of all lies on the people. When you see these types of things in your community, you should be able to stop it. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was coming out of my house. Then there was this guy holding a loudspeaker, doing advertising.
Some medicine?
No. Being able to repair washing machines or those things. It was blaring it. He was a man holding and blaring. I stopped him and I said to him, do you know what you're doing against the law?
Public order.
Yes, public order. He looked at me as if I was crazy. He looked at me, can you do this elsewhere? You can't. Blaring in the morning, early in the morning, blaring. Who enforces that type of thing? And right now, even if I said, I was going to arrest him as a citizen's arrest and I took him to the police station, what will the police say? Oh, Papa, but it's against the law. And if we can't enforce the laws, that's why I said on another station, in this country, if we can't enforce the laws, let's close Parliament. So that they don't have to do any laws. Everybody lives by whatever they like. If the judge has given her 15 years, she deserves to be put in for 15 years for the crime she's committed. Period. Forget all the other things she's done. She wasn't in court for all the other things she's done.
Yeah.
She was in court for a specific
like
crime. Exactly. Forget all that.
She spewed real rubbish.
I said, forget all that. It's not part and parcel of the case. What the offense is what she has been jailed for.
So my question is, do you think that her other actions, whether on social media or in the space, perhaps also has contributed to even people holding the position that even the 15 years is
It's light.
It's a light, yes.
I go by what the judge gave, and the judge knows the reasons why. It's just that in this country, you can get from full respect. Just do something for people to see that you are linked to some powerful person. Then you get from full respect. Then people start hailing you. And if you are not careful, it gets to your head. And when it gets to your head, you think you have the power to do anything you want to do because the laws won't work and you can get away with it by paying people. The police should be a police where even if the president goes against the law, they can go to Flagstaff House and question him. Did it not happen in the UK? Their prime minister, the Indian guy, did they not find him for speeding? Did they not find him? And here, if you take something like that to the Agrada in the Pakistan, would they not say that? Their mandate that they are supposed to execute, sometimes the police don't execute it. I want a police service that can execute their mandate and push people into line.
Okay.
I think the Broadcasting Act, you people should force that Broadcasting Act to be passed. You are parliamentarian. Please do something about it. Because what is showing on our TVs is
I remember
crazy.
during the period of Kojo Ponkum and then the Ghana Independent Broadcasting, they'd been trying to.
Papa, the judge said something which was quite significant. She said, Agrada didn't show remorse.
Yes. She said that.
Yeah. And that was telling that if a judge could say that, it means the judge was expecting something.
I'm told in the court she was just giggling and laughing.
Yeah,
I think even
so
I'm told that she even shouted at lawyers or something.
Yeah. So you know she's got other cases to
Reported. Yes.
other cases. Yeah. Right?
There are even 6 complainants.
You saw how she
on
went
some
to
other
court.
reports.
Yeah. She's got
She has other
cases.
cases.
My friend told me the other
defamation cases and all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, same on defrauding.
Yes.
So she's got
similar cases on defrauding.
So I think that is why our laws must work. I mean, we need to eliminate some of these things from the society so that we can have a very sound society moving forward.
Okay. Now, your last view on this. I give you only this. We have the laws. So why are we not invoking the laws?
Well, it's simple. Because you see, in this whole...
In this instant case, yes.
So I was asking myself, why didn't the NMC or the NEC, why didn't they take intermediary steps to prevent some of these things? Because we are seeing them glaringly on our screens. We see them. Honorable was making reference to some of them. What are they doing? And I was saying that, are they well-resourced enough? But NCA is well-resourced. National Communication Authority is well-resourced. Maybe I can't say that about the NMC. But the thing is that they have a responsibility. And we want to see them at work, sanitizing the system and making sure that our children are safe.
Fantastic. Let me say good morning to Mr. Kofi Nyante here, respected also media entrepreneur and then manager, and has been able to bring forth a lot of talents, including all of us right here at Media General in our formative years. Good morning to you as well. So I have a couple of comments. These spiritual charlatans prey on the vulnerable and gullible citizens by fleecing them and live affluent lifestyles with their families. They go on then hoodwink others as well, and nothing is done. Yet the media also allows that to be perpetrated on their screens. The worst is that they have licenses and they even go on social media with their own accounts, and nobody does anything to shut them down. This one is coming from somebody, a source inside the Electoral Commission, very high up. So it says, I like what you're discussing. It's quite interesting on the case of the Electoral Commission in reference to Ablikuma North. But this is very important. Where are the pink sheets of the other parties who contested in that same election? Granted that the EC, the MPP and NDC cannot agree on numbers.
A new question. Genuine question.
Money, ni money. Good morning to you. Yomole Yomo. Wishing you all the best. Bani said, why doesn't Agrada do Sika Gari for Ghana to pay its debts? We owe several billions to the international community.
The beauty of Ghana. The beauty of Ghana.
Okay, she says Sika Geli, but this is what Money ni money wrote.
The beauty of Ghana.
Why doesn't Agrada do Sika Gari for Ghana to pay its debts? And we're here struggling.
The beauty of Ghana.
I got it.
Very interesting.
This is what keeps us together.
Finance minister will have to give her money before.
And then Beatrice sent me this one. He said, Roland, you made my day. I'm still laughing by your question. When you see is a herbalist, and that's different from a kung fu. Okay. So, I'm doing well. This one is sent by a respected engineer. Good morning to you, sir. Just for privacy purposes, he said 15 years is not in the middle of 10 to 25 years. The middle is 17 and a half years. 15 years is just top of the bottom third. He's a mathematician. You know, science, engineers are always loving science. So he concludes, if Ghanaians find the 15 years too high, they should consult Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh to reconsider and make reviews in his Constitution Review Committee report.
So that they reduce.
But the report has already been submitted, though.
But you know this, we've not shown concern about the husband. I mean,
what about? But the church is there free of charge.
And the husband is
going to collect.
It's going to be lonely.
He's going to collect all the. How do you call it in Ghanaian collection?
Did you not know what she was?
Somebody said now the church members there
can
some of the female church members can be visiting him because he will
we have a number of lawyers also watching us apart from the lawyers present here.
That's not actually. I think he spoke.
He did.
He says that
even Jesus suffered something.
Crucified.
Yes.
He cited some past, and so
they'll come out.
They'll come out.
Lawyer Leonard Sejuro says Agrada is a repeat offender. In law, we will say she's known. The 15 years is good. Flat.
Nobody is sympathizing with Mama.
While our time is up, we also have Cash Out. We'll tell you more about it. But just to wrap up on two more. Prince Nane Ayok says, is there a law which reigns in a TV station which advertises grandmasters and money for money people to be part of any arrest or prosecution? Because I'm interested to know. Again, the security agencies and persons in charge of the advertisement of such conduct must up their game. They shouldn't just look on. That's Prince Nane Ayok. Very interesting there. And then Edem, that's Andy Edem Agle says, sentencing Agrada alone is not enough. Her husband should be part. They are both criminals. Well,
that's too much.
But Agrada, there's a video that Agrada herself mentioned that.
I'm told there's even a video that said, my name is criminals. Is that what you're saying?
She said that.
Oh, yes. There's a video.
She doesn't know the meaning of
Roland,
criminal.
who conducted the
She's just saying
investigation
it.
to bring Agrada to court?
I think it was...
Police.
It's a public interest matter. It's against the state, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The state against Agrada.
So who conducted the investigation?
That's the Republic.
It's the police.
The Ghana Police Service.
They found that the husband wasn't part and parcel.
Okay, this one is coming from Alhaji Hamza Pig Farm. He says, it is a fact, Agrada has stepped on many toes in this country, but in my humble opinion, as a first-time offender, 15 years with hard labor is too harsh.
It's not first time. Because 2020,
what's his name?
Similar thing was done.
Alhaji Hamza, they said that the lawyer says that she's known. But in my humble opinion,
the comment that
15 years with hard labor is too harsh. Many Chinese who destroy our water bodies and our forests are deported back to their countries without any punishment. What about that?
The law must work. The law must work.
The law is the law.
No, the law must work.
The law must work, even on those people.
Yeah, the law must work.
All right, gentlemen. Austin Powers, thank you. And then thank you also as well, Alhaji. You are an Alhaji, right? No. Not yet.
Not
yet. When will you go to Mecca?
Maybe next year.
Next year.
Next year. An Alhaji friend of mine told me the reason why when you are young, they don't want to go.
No, me, I have no reason.
Because they want to sin and they go and they don't want to be repeatedly going to Mecca.
That is not my reason. My reason is that I have a couple of people that I think
you sponsor.
They all must go
from your family.
Yes.
Okay. That's allowed. I withdraw any contemptuous.
No, but you know I don't send on those.
And then defamatory words I might have. Okay, so I have Sheikh Abubakar Ali Napar, the founder, CEO, president of the Light Foundation. Good morning to you, Alhaji Sheikh. And we wish you all the best for the day. All right. And then, Lajantwa, thank you very much. We're taking a break. But again, we have to tell you we have cash out. You go with the short code, *439#. You should try as many times as you can. Choose option 8, increase the number of tickets you have. And again, just tell you that you have to increase the number of tickets you have. All right. Again, let me reiterate. My post on social media on GM and all that was just in jest or, just making sarcasm. Now I'm explaining tire. Apologies to Chairman Prosper for this. All right. We're taking a break. We'll be right back.